What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here. Just want to again thank you all for everyone who's subscribing, tuning in, liking, sharing, spreading the word on the Cowboys Cave. Obviously, wouldn't be able to do this without you, so definitely appreciate it. So, hey, saw the Mike Zimmer press conference. Had to kind of watch it while I was driving home, but I would kept my focus on the wheels. So, but just listening to it, you love Mike Zimmer. I mean, if you've been a Cowboys fan for a long time, I mean, he was here in the heyday. He was here during some lean years, and he was here with some of the better years. So he's kind of seen it all through that cycle, and he knows everything that it takes to be a Dallas Cowboy and everything that it takes to get this team to the next level. And listen to his press conference. A couple of things were refreshing. You know, he used the word discipline a lot, and that's something I think we all would say this team kind of lacks. You know, the penalties, the undisciplined penalties, the pre-snap penalties, the roughing the punter, roughing the kicker, roughing the this, offsides. I mean, so many things that extended drives. They were killers for Cowboys, especially it showed itself, to be more impactful in the big game. So I think what Mike Zimmer is going to do, at least on the defensive side, is he's going to bring some discipline to this team, some accountability. And you just kind of heard him saying that over and over again. And the other thing he said is he's not looking to reinvent the wheel. He knows we've got some players, we've got some impact guys on this defense. It's just putting them in the position for the most success and using their talents to the best advantage of the defense. He's run a 4-3. He switched to a 3-4 when Bill Parcells came to town and kept him as a defensive coordinator. So he has the ability to adjust based on the personnel. And the one thing that was going around is, he's a hard-nosed coach. He's tough, and, some call him a jerk, and he was kind of joking about it. But it validated everything that he's done because he's talked about the players that he was hard on that have, become good friends with him now and reached out to him and thanked him for everything that he's done. So he's a teacher, and I think he's going to get the most out of the players on the defense. And I think there's so much potential on this defense. We're just missing some pieces. And I think if you look at him, it's going to be linebacker. That's going to be an area that I think the Cowboys are really going to address. And as well, you can never have enough pass rushers. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this shakes out. With the Cowboys defense and this all-in mentality. Mike McCarthy kind of talked about it a little bit, jokingly in the press conference. And I mean, this team needs to be all in. They need to be all in, and they need to get players here that is going to bring that culture. And I think with Coach Zimmer, you just look at the guys they sign on defense. Look at the ones, see if there's some familiar faces, from his time, maybe with Minnesota most recently. But, he said a lot of things. He gave a lot of praise to Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy was one of the reasons he wanted to come to Dallas. He competed against him, obviously, when Coach Zimmer was in Minnesota and McCarthy was in Green Bay. So a lot of respect there. And I think that's really important for this team. Again, for the culture aspect, is Zimmer is going to help McCarthy kind of, I don't want to say reinvent, but, just kind of get this culture where it needs to be. I think McCarthy's done a good job, but I think there's just still a little bit more missing. So hopefully what Zimmer's going to be able to do is fill that void. And you wish Dan Quinn the best. I mean, we're not all, here to dog on him and this and that. He did a good job with the defense, but in big games, if anyone obviously was watching the games, the Achilles heel for us was adjustments. And it just seemed we got out schemed. I mean, it was evident in the Packers game, not to go backwards, but I mean, so many players during that Super Bowl week, you all kind of heard them hinting at it. They didn't really come out and say it, but they all kind of hinted at the scheme. And we've had other players, former players on that also address that as well. And I think with Coach Zimmer, the good thing, again, I like with that press conference, as you watched it, he didn't make any promises. He didn't say what he's going to do. He didn't say how he's going to use Micah Parsons. He didn't say, what defense he's going to run. He's going to evaluate the players that are here and talk with them first, see what they like, see what their, skill set is before he goes making, all these changes. And like I said before, he's not looking to reinvent the wheel. I think we just need some tweaking. I think this defense needs some tweaking, and I think there's a little, to say the offense needs some tweaking. I don't know if the offense needs tweaking, but I think what they need is a running back. So looking again in the offseason, you're hearing a lot with Derrick Henry. I think any Cowboy fan would be happy to have him. Barkley's going to be out there. Josh Jacobs is a name. That's a sleeper because that's one that not a lot of people talk about, but very good running back, going to be free agent with Vegas. And he's another guy that kind of, he brings some juice and he brings something to the table. So there's going to be running backs out there. And I've said it before, I want them to get a running back, a veteran running back. And then I also would like them to draft a running back. Have that. I don't think Pollard's going to come back unless they sign Pollard to a manageable deal for a second for a second running back. I think Pollard is best as the number 2 guy. I just don't think he's the type to be that workhorse or be that, short yardage in between the tackles. I think, unfortunately for the Cowboys, they took his best skill set kind of away from him. And again, I've said it a million times, just reminded me a lot of Felix Jones. When Felix Jones was here, they used him as the number 2 back, which what he was in college. And he was explosive plays. I mean, he was averaging 6-7 yards a carry his first year. And then they wanted to make him the man, and it just didn't work out. And his career, honestly, was never the same. And I hope that's not the case for Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard's got a lot of skill. He's got a lot of upside. I just think he needs to be used the best way for his style of running back to be used. And that's, the number 2 guy, but also I don't think they used him enough in the passing game. And I think that's something, the Cowboys looking back probably regret a little bit. Maybe should have used him more in the passing game as well. And you got Deuce Vaughn. I mean, he didn't do really anything, but Deuce Vaughn, I always said, can be that kind of Sproles guy, that third down back, that guy that you got to give him the ball in space. He ain't running between the tackles. He'll end up getting smashed. But, the running game, if there's an area for us, aside from offensive line, and really offensive line, I like the starting 5, right? Maybe you're going to have to see Biotis is probably, I think he's free agent. So you're going to, see what happens there. Do we re-sign him? Do we draft one? I mean, I'd probably, if there's a guy I'd let go on the offensive line, it would probably be him. He's not Frederick, and boy, we missed Frederick, and people didn't know how good he was until he was gone. But trying to find a center, that's probably one of the things I would be looking at. And then depth. I mean, obviously, Tyron Smith, if they can get a deal done with Tyron, kind of like he did last year, I would bring him back. He's not going to play the whole year. You're probably going to get, 12 to 13 games out of him if you're fortunate, but you hope those are in the tail end. But he actually, he played very, very well, was a second team All-Pro. So, I mean, he played very well when he was in there. So maybe you're getting, that first pick in the first round, which we'll get into some draft stuff as the offseason progresses. Maybe that's where you're going to look for a tackle. Maybe that's where you're going to kind of draft your future left tackle, or maybe even right tackle. If you hope that Steele comes back better next year. He didn't, coming off that injury, did not have his best season at all. So he's definitely got to come there. But you've got some young guys that you can put out there if Steele struggles or something like that. But I think the Cowboys get a tackle if they're. I know that's where a lot of draft gurus have Dallas going with a tackle in the first round. Tyler Smith was kind of like the groom to left tackle, and you can move him there, and I think he'd be a Pro Bowler and probably an All-Pro, but he's done such a great job at guard. Do you really want to kind of mess with that? So that's the question the Cowboys are going to have to figure out. But we got some time in the offseason. The thing I hate about football is the offseason is so long. So we got a lot of time to think about it. We got a lot of time to, kind of critique every move the Cowboys make. And you can do that with a cave. I'm actually going to be live. Kelly and I are going to be live tonight. We got a great group that we're doing a joint show with tonight. So Boys in the Zone and the crew, and I think Cowboys Can Fan might be on there. Cam, if she's Cam and Mass, hopefully she's feeling better and she might be able to join us as well. So make sure you guys tune into the cave tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. We will be live. But until then, leave your comment. Let me know what you guys think about Mike Zimmer. You guys happy with it? If you heard the press conference, I mean, does he get you kind of feeling better? Because that's the thing with Cowboys, right? We're, at the end of the season, we want everyone gone. We want all these changes. We want this. Well, this was a change. Is this a change you feel good about? Is this when you're kind of like, I mean, initially I was, but honestly, listening to Coach Zimmer and, kind of thinking about it more and more, I like what I hear. I think he's going to bring in that piece. I think this team, you look back to some of the coaches and you think about, Parcells, and you think about Jimmy, those guys, and even some defensive coordinators they had that were more fiery coordinators on the defensive side of the ball. The players, I guess, with the Cowboys, I think they thrive a little bit better with that. I don't think Quinn was that kind of guy. He was their buddy. He was their friend. And I think with everything that you have with the Cowboys, the pressure, the spotlight, everything like that, you need someone that's going to keep you grounded. You need someone that's going to keep you focused. You need someone that's going to challenge you. You need someone that's going to make you accountable. And that's what I think Zimmer is going to bring to the defensive side of the ball. So I'm excited about it. It's got me feeling a little bit better. My season ticket license, the seat license is due in it's 28 days in February, right? So 13 days, I got a decision to make. This makes me feel a little bit better. I was hoping free agency would start now so I could see what they're doing to make sure they're truly all in before they go taking my money. It's always nice of Jerry to kind of send that invoice out before free agency starts. So they they got you sucked in, but I'm confident. I'm feeling optimistic. Not totally ready to break through the wall and drop a video. I need to see some off-season acquisitions. I need Jerry and I need this team and Steven and all these guys to prove that they're all in, to prove that this team is on the cusp and that they're going to do everything it takes to get the best personnel on this roster, any means necessary, whether it be trade, whether it be free agent, obviously draft. But what I don't want is them to do nothing in free agency and then depend on the draft to carry this team over the hump, because that's just, it hasn't worked. And they've done it for many years now, and that recipe isn't working. So they're going to have to get all in, and we need to see it as Cowboy fans. So hopefully I'll see you guys live tonight. Just wanted to drop a quick video in the morning. Wish you guys hopefully have a good day. If you catch this in the morning, afternoon, or evening, if you catch it before 8 p.m. Central Time, make sure you tune into the cave because we're going to have a good time. So I will see you guys. You guys have a great day. Appreciate you. And make sure before anything that you guys hit that subscribe, hit the like, and make sure you share it with Cowboys Nation. We're out here. We're running it. We're getting this thing rolling. We're going to get that hype train where it needs to be. So you guys have a great one. I'll see you.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.